Welcome to CAM Matters, Condos, Co-ops, HOAs, and beyond. Betsy Barbieux is an informational leader in Florida on community association living, rights, and obligations. She is an expert on the rights and obligations of owners as well as the association. If you live or are planning to live in the state of Florida, there's a good chance you'll be part of a community association. And by the end of this show, you'll know a little bit more about community associations and why they matter.
Hi, and welcome to this episode of CAM Matters. It's July 2025. I am Suzanne Lynn with Betsy Barbieux, and we're so glad that you're here. Betsy, we got a big show. I know we say that all the time, but I'm looking down at my notes going, we got to talk fast because we got a lot to get in here, you know?
We have about 2 hours worth.
2 hours worth in 20 minutes or so. So, Betsy, we're going to be visiting about yes at the end of the show. We want you to stick around because we've got a lot of great information about that and a little surprise that you'll want to know about too. So we're going to start today. The episode is on questions that you can't ask during interviews. And that may seem really basic, but boy, they can get you in trouble if you do this wrong. Betsy, why don't you set us up?
This is one of the topics that managers get zero training on is employee relationships, hiring, disciplining, dismissing. They don't get any information on it. And I believe it was 2 cycles ago, continuing ed cycles ago, I did have a full day on this and actually had the HR professional of the year come and speak to the managers.
Wow. Oh, okay.
And he went over all the laws that we're supposed to be familiar with and pretty much scared the bejeebies out of all of us.
Imagine. I want you in big trouble.
You can get into as much trouble here in hiring or interviewing a potential employee. You can get into as much trouble here as you can in buildings, reconstruction and all the horrible things that happen to buildings.
Sure.
You can get into a lot of trouble here. And it is the least of what managers learn or are exposed to. So I've been trying to bring a little bit of this in to the managers. I am a member of SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management, but I am not an HR professional. I know nothing.
That's the fine print. I know nothing. That's the fine print right there.
I belong to that group so that I can hear things that are coming and alert managers to be aware of some of the new labor laws and time and wage and EEOC, those kinds of things, because you do not want to be in trouble with the EEOC or the Department of Labor.
Yeah. Betsy, what's an example of someone having to interview? What scenario are you talking about? What are the different scenarios?
Well, managers may be the ones who interview and hire maintenance staff or other office personnel. They may be the ones who do that. In a management company, you might have a smaller management company. You may not have an actual dedicated HR person with credentials. In fact, probably don't. Okay. There are a couple of management companies that I know that do have credentialed HR professionals in their organizations. But if you don't, I think it's the manager who ends up being the HR person, and they're certainly not professional or credentialed.
Right.
And they're just some things that it seems that maybe you would want to know, but as it turns out, they're against the law to ask.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, you cannot ask about criminal background. Or you can't ask if you've been convicted of a felony.
Mm.
I found out you cannot keep a convicted felon from getting a job just because they're a convicted felon. The felony has to be job related.
Oh, wow.
So in other words, if the felony is for stealing money,
mm-hmm.
then we as managers handle money, so that would be job related. Mm-hmm. But if the felony is a drug charge from 20 years ago,
wow,
that does not keep them from getting a job. There would have to be other disqualifying factors like skills that keep them from getting a job.
Okay.
So,
well, I mean, like the obvious ones, you can't ask about age, Or, are you pregnant? Or are you going to be leaving me in such months or whatever?
We've planning family. You can't ask those things.
Right.
And I think that if managers and sometimes board members, I think when they get involved in that interviewing process, they don't have a checklist that they're going by.
Yeah.
And they just throw out questions that seem like you would want to know, like, are you planning a family? Because I want to know if you're going to be here, if you're going to be gone for, 6 months. Hire you and then you're gone.
Right.
You can't ask those kinds of questions. You can't ask if they have a driver's license. Now, these are in the not in the beginning. Are you able to come to work? Are you able to get to work?
But you can't.
Yeah, later. Yeah, later you can ask other questions when you're going to make an offer to them, because now you're going to have to get a driver's license and all that kind of stuff to do a background check.
Wow.
So, but in some of those pre-hire interview, yeah. So you can't pull that out. Really careful.
Really interesting.
And I'm going to have an expert on next month.
Yeah.
Who is an HR professional. And she's going to go over a whole lot more things for us. And she also has a really cool service that she offers. So I want to.
That's the tease. That's the tease. You have to come out for that. Yeah. You don't get that free stuff up front, Yeah. One of the things I was thinking is how much information you can get in an interview when you do more listening than talking, because people will share without asking the question a lot of time. So it's about engaging in a conversation and getting them into a discussion to where they start sharing. You may
if they reveal things to you, that's one thing, but you can't ask. And things like, I had a little list of questions here. Things like, which parts of your past jobs did you like the best? Mm-hmm. And you can get them to talk for a long time, and you can get them to keep talking if you say, so like what? So tell me more, and they will talk about the things that they liked, or ask them the things that they didn't like. Mm-hmm. Why did you leave your previous job? Mm-hmm. Those, were there problems that you ever encountered in your job that you were able to overcome? And then you could ask the opposite. Were there problems that cropped up during your past jobs that you weren't able to resolve? And then what did you do?
Yeah. You can find out a whole lot about people with just a very skillfully, carefully placed question like, tell me about your problem solving. Tell me about a time that there was an issue that you were able to resolve a problem.
Right.
Oh my goodness. That can really go, that can make it shine, or be like, okay, we're going to see out the door right now,
And it doesn't take long to hear if the potential employee always has the same problem at his job.
So you're looking for patterns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because if it's always about the other person, or the boss wanted to do something, or the boss wasn't as smart as they were, or they made all these suggestions and the boss wouldn't, take it. Mm-hmm. When you start hearing things like that, it's kind of like, I'm not sure that this will be a team player.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that you had mentioned earlier before we started recording was about the different types of dependent, independent, and interdependent. Would you touch on those? What do those mean, especially the independent and interdependent?
Yeah, these are the kinds of things that you could ask me questions about for days, and we could spend hours. This is your favorite subject. And one of the things that I'm listening for in people's conversations is their level of emotional development. And I think we did a show on this several years ago, so this is maybe a little bit of a repeat. But when I describe them, you're able to see people that in these levels of emotional development. Mm-hmm. And it starts with being dependent. Okay. And we are born dependent. There is not a thing that we can do for ourselves when we're born. Yeah. Somebody has to feed us, dress us, change our diapers, make us happy, put us to bed, wake us up. Everything has to be done for us.
Right.
And babies do have needs, and the only way that they can get their need met is to scream and fuss and cry.
Right.
And it doesn't take long for parents to learn the hungry cry, the mad cry, the sleepy cry. To other people, the cries all sound the same.
Right.
But to mom,
Yeah.
oh, he's tired.
Yeah.
But to others, it just sounds like a crying baby.
Yeah.
So you learn what the baby needs by the way they fuss.
Right.
Now, so that leaves parents guessing. We have to mind read what the baby needs.
Right.
Because they are rightfully totally dependent.
Right.
They're supposed to grow out of that stage. But there are adults who are still in that stage. And
what does that look like when you say, I mean, we laugh, but what does a dependent?
They are not. They are not, and I'll skip ahead to that. But they are not productive members of society.
Okay.
Somebody has always taken care of them.
Okay.
Somebody has always met their needs. They fuss and whine, and somebody gives them what they need.
Mm-hmm.
These are the owners that come to a manager's office and sit down and talk. And they just chatter and chatter and chatter. And they don't notice that the manager is glancing at the computer, glancing at the phone, glancing at their watch. Mm-hmm. Other people are coming in, talking. They don't have social skills.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't pick up on social cues. Mm-hmm. And so they don't notice that, let's look at me and I need to go.
It's all about them. Yeah.
And what I coach them to do is recognize who those people are, set a boundary and say, I can talk with you for 10 minutes and then
that's good.
You'll have to leave.
Right.
And if you want to come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we can have another cup of coffee and I'll give you 10 minutes. But right now you have to leave.
Right.
Now, if you think about this person as being, I don't know, 5-year-old, emotionally, doesn't pick up on social cues. If you told a 5-year-old who'd been at your house all afternoon playing with your kids, if you told the 5-year-old, hey, your mother's calling you, go home for dinner.
Right.
It doesn't offend them.
Right.
They go home for dinner. And what do they do the next day? They come back. Mm-hmm. It doesn't offend them. So the adult person who is not socially skilled is probably not going to be offended. They'll just be back tomorrow. And so you as the manager have to learn to set those boundaries.
Right.
So we are born dependent. We begin to see the movement out of that stage when the baby learns to crawl.
Okay.
Until then, they are almost literally attached to their parents. They can't go anywhere without you picking them up and taking them.
Mm-hmm.
So they get this emotional and physical concept of being physically attached.
Okay.
And that's why they scream and holler when you try to unattach them and give them to the babysitter or the Sunday school teacher. They scream and holler and claw at you back on.
Right.
They're thinking they're still attached. But once they begin to crawl, they realize they're not attached.
Right.
And then they get further and further away. And then they learn to walk. And then they learn to ride a tricycle. And
is that independent?
They're moving back and forth from the dependent to the independent. It goes back and forth for about 20 years.
Okay.
Not 20 years. Yep. And so they go back and forth. And that's when they end up, like about 8th grade. Mm-hmm. You're one moment you've got this sweet little boy, and the next day you've got this horrible person. And because they're moving,
trying to figure it all out,
plan to become more independent.
Right.
And this is where parents need a whole lot of parenting skills and wisdom to know when to let them push more into the independent. So in the independent stage, they are more likely to be critical of others. And you can see that in 7th and 8th graders.
Yeah.
They're pretty much hateful toward each other. They point out everybody's deficiencies, your parents' clothes, your parents' car, you've got ugly hair and you've got, rotten teeth or whatever, they can pick on stuff like crazy. And this person can grow up and stay in that stage and be a productive member of society, but they're not a team player. They're always doing a one-up. Whatever anybody else has done or can do, they can do better. And it gets really tiring talking to them. Yeah. And they argue, just like a teenager argues. I mean, you can tell the teenager the sky is blue and they'll say, no, it's not. It's sure. Sure. They'll argue. So will this adult. And they argue. And they can be productive members of society and are probably very productive business people, but they need to play in the sandbox by themselves. They probably need to own their own company. They're probably not really good at working under someone else unless they can have some control of a department or a section of work. But that is where society generally tells you you're supposed to, that's your goal, is to become independent. But it's not. There's one more stage.
What's that?
That's the interdependent stage.
Okay.
And in that stage, that's where you are mature enough and secure enough in your own person that you don't know it all. In the independent stage, you think you know it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people never move out of that. But when you've moved into the interdependent stage, that's where you know that you're only as smart as the people around you.
Wow.
And the bigger network you have, the smarter you're going to be. The more, it's like 2 or 3 heads are better than one. And so you create you create networks and friendships with people that you can call on, that you can be around, that challenge you to learn and to grow and to think, and even change your mind about things. Right. So
people who are secure enough with themselves that they're open to listening to other ideas and saying, "Hey,
I think I like that idea better than mine." So, I'll adapt that and add that into mine. And I'm not saying wishy-washy. I'm just saying being willing to learn.
Right.
I mean, honestly, not everybody knows it all. There's nobody who knows it all.
Of course. Right.
So the more you can understand that moving from job to job should be about gaining more experience, creating a bigger network, learning more skills. Moving from job to job should be about getting better, not leaving a job because they didn't do it your way.
Right.
Or you didn't get the recognition that you thought, or, they're just a bunch of idiots. And you can hear those conversations if you let people talk in an interview.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear those concepts.
Yeah. So that's kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for that, though. The ultimate goal is the interdependent.
I'm looking for the interdependent person. And that is the one who seeks out the opinions of others, where the independent person will more likely rebuff the opinions of others or do a one-up.
Betsy, we got to take a break, but the exciting stuff on the other side, we've got a little sneak peek into a special guest. We're going to talk about the Yes event that's coming up in August. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Are you ready for a new career? Do you have skills or interest in management, real estate, construction, maintenance, accounting, strategic planning, project management, budgets, human resource management, lawn and landscaping, pool services, or any other expertise needed to operate a community association? If you do, community association management could be for you. For more information, feel free to email Betsy at betsy@floridacamschools.com or visit the Florida Cam Schools website at www.floridacamschools.com. Florida Community Association Management continues to grow. Career opportunities abound.
And welcome back to Cam Matters. We're talking about ways that we can certainly get in trouble by asking questions during interview process. and how important it is that we follow the laws and follow the rules. And Betsy, you're talking about someone who's going to be a guest on your show next month in August of 25. Who is it and what are they offering?
This is Dominique, who is from AIM. And on looking AIM up on the internet, there was quite a few companies with that name. But this is the one with the HR solutions.
It's AAIM.
AAIM. But there's several others online too.
Okay.
So
Okay.
don't get the wrong one.
Okay.
But she, I met her at our SHRM meeting last month, and then she and I connected and talked about her services. And I thought, man, she's perfect for a resource, perfect resource for small management companies that don't have a dedicated HR person, or for communities that have more than one or two staff and have questions about, employment rights, employee rights, interviewing, disciplining, terminating. How do you do all of that to stay out of trouble?
Right.
Yes, we are a right to work state, but you better be sure that the person you're hiring or not hiring or terminating doesn't fall into any of the protected categories under the EEOC, because they'll find a real good reason to sue you.
Right. Right.
And in Florida, it's a huge business. Employment law is a huge business. So the attorneys make a lot of money. But anyway, she is going to tell you about some of her services that I think would be perfect for a lot of our communities and smaller management companies.
Okay.
So stay tuned for next month.
It's going to be great. Really good. And then I don't want to wrap up off of AIM before you're ready. Is there anything else?
No. We just look forward to talking to her.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I mean, we've got to move right into Yes, because we're just weeks away now from the annual event that, it's just huge.
It is. And I've already gotten a lot of registrations this week. So reminders are going out now every week, and you need to come on and get your seat.
Okay.
And what I'm planning for day one, we're going to be talking about disasters and insurance, and weaving into that all of the SEERS, reserves, milestone inspection reports, the deconstruction, the construction, reconstruction,
right,
the hurricanes. What on earth did you all do with the hurricanes and the damages and everything? Permitting, I'm hearing, is weird from county to county. I've got 2 panels on day one to talk about, challenges. What did we learn through all of this last 2 years, 3 years of all of the new laws plus the hurricanes? What did we learn? So for the morning panel, I'm going to read these to make sure I don't forget anybody. The morning panel, we have Phil Massey on insurance, Tara Stone, Building Solutions on reserves and the SEERS studies. We've got Connie Lorenz on asphalt, Brent Dixon from Belfour Restoration Company, Kathy Martin from Valley Bank on money, banking, loan, lines of credits, all the new things that are all there. So that's our morning panel of experts. And then the afternoon panel will be managers with the same kinds of topics. What did we learn? What do we do in the last 2 or 3 years? So I have Michael Hodges, who is coming from the Jacksonville area. Got Adrian Welly, who's coming from the Panhandle. Yvette Rodriguez, my Spanish instructor, is coming from the Miami area. Brandy Sago is coming from the Fort Myers area. And Thomas Renner is coming from the New Smyrna Beach area. So I try to get somebody from all 4 corners, state, to come and talk with us about those same kinds of disaster insurance, reconstruction, deconstruction, loans, special assessments, all of that stuff. What were the challenges and what did we learn? So that'll be day one. And Jane Boland, the attorney from Miami area, will be the facilitator for both of those sessions.
Okay.
Day 2, she's going to stay for day 2 in the morning and do the legal update. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed her last year, so she'll do the legal update. And then the rest of day 2 will be me. We'll be going over the basics. It has been my mission for this past year to reorient board members and managers to the real purpose of your community association. Once you understand that, then we can talk about how to implement the strange new laws that just went into effect this month and last year, because the laws don't fit with the original purpose of the community association.
Okay.
So learning how to navigate that. I also will have credits embedded in that session that I'm doing that will meet the requirements for the HOA managers.
Okay, great.
Supposed to have these extra hours of credit.
Right.
So embedded in that day will be the specific hours for them too.
That's great. Getting lots done with one event. So
I'm trying to figure out how to approve all that stuff. I can, but DDPR has been
a little tricky, challenging. Okay, well, still place opportunities to sign up.
Oh yeah. And those who have been before know that the room is big. It's very unlikely that I would run out of seats. So
okay. Sounds good. CampSchools.com.
Yeah. The registrations are rolling in, and we're also having, I don't know, I got this wild hair. We're having a flamingo contest.
Okay.
Wear something that has a flamingo on it, draw one.
Okay.
Or bring one, but not a live one. You know, you can.
Okay.
Don't bring a live one. Well, you can bring like a stuffed one or something. So we're going to have little flamingo things.
We have such great themes. This will be fun.
So we're just going to have, those tacky pink flamingos.
Love
so
it.
Wear one, draw one, bring one, just not a live one.
All right. The rules have been set. I love it. Betsy, thank you so much. I can't wait. I can't believe that Yes is already just a few weeks away. So
me either.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode of CAM Matters. As always, please just go ahead and take a few seconds to give a ranking or a rate on the profile on the content that you're listening to. And Betsy puts a lot of time and effort and care and thought and love into these. And maybe just mention to somebody, just to one person, about these shows being available would mean a lot. We will talk next month. Betsy, have a great lead up to Yes, and looking forward to our show in 1 month from today.
Thank you for listening to CAM Matters. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. For more information, feel free to email Betsy at betsy@floridacamschools.com or visit the Florida Cam Schools website at www.floridacamschools.com. Information provided on this show is general in nature and does not constitute legal advice. Please contact a licensed attorney for your specific situation.